Hey out there, all you Infinitels. This is Joel Traveler, also known as Rattler Next on the forums, and this is another episode of Chain of Command. In today's episode, we're going to go over the new Yondon uh, closed battle lists that CB put out only yesterday, I think. One of the things that's really exciting about these lists is I think the closed battle lists in general are fantastic opportunities for CB to test some stuff, to interact with their customer base, to really try to express some new and unique ways for Infinity to be played. And you can see the iterative growth they've made between the Svarlheim lists and these lists. These lists are way better. The Svarlheim lists are very interesting, but a lot of them were left wanting for a couple of reasons, not the least of which is because they weren't full orders. You're already at a deficit with 10 order pools. It's really challenging when you only get 9 or you get 8 and 1 irregular. That's kind of a pain. So these lists are much better. So let's go through a couple of them, and then I'm going to give you guys what I think is the ranking, about most powerful to least powerful. Okay, so here we got list A. I think list A is generally a very well-rounded list. So you've got the Guija, and when I first started looking at these, I was like, oh, okay, so we're going to do another tag in every single list, and here's how we're going to start it off. Guija is the main support piece. The rest of it is primarily ISS stuff, and that's good, cool, I like it. So we get the Guija, and then I look through. Okay, we got a crane rank. It's a lieutenant with an assault hacking device. Super weird. Okay, Zanying HMG, okay, Celestial Guard, Multi-Sniper, okay, Qingxi Control for some smoke, cool. What else do you got? Another Forward Observing Celestial Guard. I love those guys for defense because that Whip 14, Whip 17, and 5-man link Flash Pulse is really strong. Okay, you've got an FO bot, you've got the Rushi, which is a fantastic bot, you've got the Kenran, Killer Hacker, great, and you've got a Dakini paramedic. Okay, cool. So we're generally well rounded. We don't have any engineers, which is okay. That's what we're gonna have. Okay, so special fire teams, the FO bot and the Rushi get duo. What I really like about this is the little mobile fire base. It's a little hunter killer team that runs around, and you could spend all your initial orders, especially if you're hunting down JSA, on going and using that duo, moving the FO bot around, dropping sniffers, discovering an entire area, and then swapping over for the link leader to be the Rushi, and him just nailing multiple Oniwaban or ninjas. I think that's a really cool little duo. They can run around and can just be really self-contained. Now, as a good defense for that, okay, you got two remotes running around. You've got the Kenran Killer Hacker, and you've got repeaters on both the Rushi and the FO bot. So if they do get in a little bit of trouble and a hacker decides to stick his head out, bam, the Kenran can come in there and he can try to smash that hacker. So that's cool. The fire team of the crane rank, the Zanying, the Celestial Guards, that's fine. Your primary beat stick is going to be the Celestial Guard HMG. Okay, sure. It's going to be a BS 15 in the link. Yep, nothing special about that. It's very normal. So okay, yeah, I think that's a good, solid all-around list. You have 3 with kind of a backup. You really have 3 to 4 striking units here. You've got your Guija. You've got your 5-man link with some good multiple range bands. That's really, really important. And then you've got a little fast-moving specialist, special duty hunter killer team. I really like this list because it has kind of all the things that you really need it to have. It'd be great if you traded out one of the Celestial Guard for an engineer, but this is what it is. So the Dakini attack bot, don't forget, put that thing in suppressive fire, in cover, -9 to hit. It's fantastic. Plus you can paramedic some stuff, I guess. But yeah, for the most part, I think that's a really solid list. Let's go to list B. So list B, I was like, okay, yeah, cool, another Guija. That's rad. All right, so we got a pheasant. All right, a pheasant, a Dakini. Oh, it's a pheasant chain of command with Red Fury, cool. It's a Dakini multi-sniper rifle. You almost never see that guy in Aleph or ISS because, he's unlinked, and an unlinked multi-sniper is fine, but, you can do some other things. The Zanying missile launcher. Okay, all right, cool. It's got 6 its level 2, cool. Which is it's going to come up for this list, but not the previous list because it was in a 5-man link. It already got its 6 its level 2. Then you got 1, 2, 3 Celestial Guards and a Sofa Tech. Oh no, this isn't that list. Okay, so the core on this one is a Zanying Imperial Agent, 3 Celestial Guard, and a Sofa Tech. So Sofa Tech runs around with this Celestial Guard unit, which I mean, this is one of the things I don't really like about this list is that it's your core includes a very a specialist that you really want to do something, and unfortunately that specialist is going to be locked in really a long range shooting match. A linked missile launcher in BS-15 is good. It's not as good as it is in Rodox, where you have visual modifiers that can change the entire situation. But it's good. Boarding shotguns, combat rifles, boarding shotguns. Yeah, it's just a really, I don't know. It's a weak core. The duo is the Pheasant Rank and the Dakini, which is okay. I don't think it's that great. It allows them to move around as a little kind of aggressive unit that can, like, if you move it up and flank with it, he can hit all the way down the side of the table with a Dakini, or he can hit anything up close to the Red Fury. It's kind of interesting. I can find some uses for that, I think, but I'm not sure that that's not performing the exact same function that the Guija performs already, and then does it better because it's BS-15 or 14 base. The Zanying Lieutenant, I don't care if he's a lieutenant because I have the chain of command there, so that's not that big of a deal. You get the regular hacking device to buff the Dakini. That's fine. You've got a Kenren that is not special at all, so it's okay. This one is just a little muddled, a little confused. Well, you got two Kenren, I'm sorry, and yeah, one of them's a forward observer. That's fine. It's just a little confused. There's some functional confusion here that I think could be better put to use. I would run this because I think there's probably some nuance that upon initial viewing I may be missing, but I don't know. I've been doing this for a while, but I don't know. So let's go to the next one. So I don't think too highly of this one. Let me just say. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, we got a Crane rank lieutenant with sensor and X visor. That's cool. I don't mind. I mean, I ran Vanilla Isla for a bit and really Vedic, and having a lieutenant with sensor is cool. They use that lieutenant order pretty aggressively. Got a yeah. So this is the one that's got another little hunter killer unit, but it serves kind of a different purpose. Where the hunter killer unit that was the Rushi plus the FO bot was really about going and hunting down camoed enemies. This one is maybe less about that and more about moving a specialist up the board to and then providing repeater protection to what is like one of the best heavy infantries in the game. So you have the Sujan teaming up with the FO bot, and I mean that's okay. I think it's just less readily functional than you get from the lists A Rushi. You also, a lot of the Sujan players really like to do the the 8-inch cautious move, which means you've just broken that link. Essentially, if you've done that, you've most likely broken that link. The FO bot gets left behind. So you've got the core in this one is the Pheasant rank, who yep, you got Chain of Command, Red Fury, cool, and 3 Celestial Guards, cool, and a Bow Trooper with a multi-sniper rifle, cool. Forward Observer, Celestial Guard, normal Celestial Guard with boarding shotgun, and a hacking guy. So there's no smoke in this one, which is kind of considering what comes later, it kind of doesn't make sense that there's not integral smoke in this list. But yeah, that's what it is. So you've got also the duo of the Terracotta Soldiers. So you got 2 chain rifle and decent multi-wound cheap guys running up the field. This one I could see getting some use and utility out of from a like a quadrant control, like a positional mission. Even Biotech War, you could do some good with this. That bow troop is going to stand in Overwatch, and maybe your forward observer for some flash pulse goods. Yeah, I think that's kind of what I do. But I think overall, I mean, you can do triangulate fire with a crane, which is great triangulated fire. I mean, you're hitting the multi rifle 3 shots on 10, pretty much anywhere on the board. That's decent. That can be cool. Um, yeah. So this one's okay. This one's okay. It's not as internally balanced as I kind of wanted it to be, but it's okay. All right, let's go to list D. List D might also be known as the auto list. So this is the one that everyone's going to gravitate towards, just hands down. The reason for that is pretty simple. It's extremely efficient. This looks like a normal high-powered list. You have a core, and it is one of the most amazing cores in the game. You've got two Wu Ming, you got the Xian, you got the Jianying, and you got the Crane. So your Crane Lieutenant is there with an assault hacking device. Your Jianying has a hacking device. I don't normally like putting hacking devices into links, although core is kind of okay because they'll get 6 since level 2. It's an easier way to break a link. You have the two Wu Ming and the Xian. The Xian is in a 5-man link. That makes him base ballistic skill 17. One of the great things about this list is you have a Harris that has the chain of command Red Fury Pheasant, the Celestial Guard Quang Shi control device with smoke, and a Dakini tac bot with a combi rifle. Because you have smoke in the list in a Harris, you're going to be hitting extremely. This is actually a great Harris. You're going to be hitting very regularly with that smoke. You're going to cover the CN. The CN now becomes effectively the best ballistic skill shooter in the game. So he's a BS 14 base. He's BS 17 in the 5-man link, and now he's imposing a -6 mod when he's shooting at troops through smoke. So yeah, this is the one that you're going to see on the table because it hits so hard on the active turn. You have the Sofa Tech who's running around with a Yud bot afterwards, which is exactly where you want the Sofa Tech because it's got a 6-4 movement. It's got a Yud bot with a 6-4 movement. They can run around. They can, if you're going to advance up the board, which you're effectively going to have to do with this core, and which I might recommend, you're really going to want to be able to get up there efficiently, and the Sofa Tech's can allow you to do that. Also, the one thing about this that I missed the first time is that the Pangolin baggage bot on this one is different. Some people are saying it's a typo. I think if it's a typo, it's a very odd typo. This baggage bot is 8 points. Has a flash pulse, it has a heavy pistol, and it still has baggage for 8 points. That's fantastic because it mixes two things. It mixes a flash pulse bot, that utility. It loses the mimetism, but it gains the great armor and the great BTS of a regular baggage bot. It maintains its baggage status, and then it gets a heavy pistol so it can actually shoot something. And its BS is 11, which is not bad. This is cool. I really hope this spreads to other baggage bots because that is nice. That is a great piece that you want in this list because it's going to sit on a side and it's just going to guard a flank. It's going to guard against some jerk bringing down an AD troop and you able to zap it with your flash pulse or shoot it in the face with your heavy pistol. All good. That's exactly the kind of active, cheap DZ guard you want. So this list is just out of control. I think the Harris, actually, kind of interestingly enough, I think the Harris is fantastic. I think one of the coolest things about it is I think you want to be using that Dakini tac bot more than you want to be using the Red Fury. The Red Fury is really important, and besides being a specialist, but it's an expensive model. That Dakini with the visual modifiers is hitting better than the Pheasant. It's going to win more shootouts because it has mimetism, because it can move 6'4", it can really get some of those longer movement and then shoots, so it can get the right range band when it needs to. It's ballistic skill's only -1 from the Red Fury, but it's going to be, I think that one's going to be quite significant. You can also buff it, and then it's hitting on 14's base. That's I think that's a solid place to go. So about two times. So your first two orders with this list is one, buff the Dakini, two, shoot smoke, and then have the CN just demolish any arrow that's out on the table that doesn't have MSV. I think that's probably one of just the best lists. It's a really good list. All right, so let's look at list E. This is the final list. Okay, list E, we've gone back to the Guija. Cool. All right, I'm happy with that. I think the Guija is a fine tag. Now we get a Pheasant rank with the Chain of Command and the Red Fury, and he's got Harris, and you've got a Zanying missile launcher. It's not the Lieutenant this time, but you also get the Engineer that's part of this Harris. So you've got a bunch of different range bands here and a Specialist. And the Specialist doesn't help the Harris. It can't heal anybody in the Harris back up, which is kind of a bummer. But it's still pretty cool. This link will fall apart if one of the active turn members dies, though, because it won't be able to be reformed. Just remember that. The thing about this list that I don't like is that you have a 4-man core when it so easily could have been a 5-man core by dropping one of the Kenren and bringing in one of the other troops. I just wish it hadn't been that way. So they brought a Shock Marksman Rifle Bow troop, and he's your, him and the Celestial Guard Spitfire, your active turns. They're never going to be better than BS-12 unless they catch somebody out of cover. Assume you're never going to do that. So BS-12 for the Bow, the Spitfire, pretty much the same range bands for a little worse ballistic skill, and yeah, I'm not. I think that being a 4 right there annoys me. You get the Killer Hacker Kenren, and then you have the Forward Observer Kenren, the 2 specialists on the midfield. That's fine. Maybe what you're supposed to do, or let me think about how I would use this. So I'd probably move the core up the board, and then, yeah, I'd move the core up the board, and then I'd put them all into Suppress Fire. And for a zonal control-based mission like Supremacy or Quadrant Control or something like that, or you know what, Show of Force too, I think would work. You have your Harris remain linked and it be a striker, but I think I would do this like I would do a Lazik fire team, which is much better. But like I do a Lazik fire team where I'd go and I'd put these guys up the board and then spend a command token to put them into suppressive fire, and then you have a lot of good defensive troops. Anything suppressive fire is pretty good in a zone or in zones, contesting zones, and then you have 2 forward deployment. 2 guys, and they're already contesting the zones, and then your Harris can run up and do some stuff, and your Guija can just really be a bully. But I think your main strikers in this list are going to be that Guija and the Harris. Yeah, so if I'm going to rank these, it's going to be D, A, C, E, B in that list. I think that's the strongest options. Okay, well, guys, it was great being able to sit here and talk to you about this. And if you guys have any questions, hit me up. I'm going to talk to more about a few other things here coming up, but this is about as long as I wanted to talk. So until next time, guys, see ya.